Airlines. Everybody's been buying. You ever remember the show, Everybody Loves Raymond? All right, well, this is the same guy. Everybody likes airline stocks. You know why? Because they were moving. That's right. You hear my 707 in the background? Because they were moving. Well, what happened with airline stocks? Well, they were moving because coronavirus hit, pandemic hit, and when people got an opportunity to go run and go fly again, they were just jumping all over the planes. Now, they were supposed to have been doing some social distancing, weren't they? I saw a lot of pictures with airline planes that were full. Why? They was taking that money. They was getting that money because they had been all jacked up from the pandemic. Man, they say, "Hey, give me that money right there." He said, "You better have my money." And they said, that's exactly what they said when the people jumped back on the plane. He said, "You better have my money." But I got to sit right next to this dude. No. You better have my money. And that's what happened. So an analyst says that bets on another 25% rally. Let's see how good this story really is. All right, so this is somebody who gets paid to go on CNBC and talk to these people and look studious. He's sitting there going, "Yeah, hey, we're going to go up another 25%. Woo! Just like that. So let's use the power of the VectorVest software. We're going to use one stock that looks at all of the airlines in one ticker symbol. And that's going to be JETS, Jets. Never say that to me because I'm a Giants fan. I'm from New York and I'm a Giants fan. Never say JETS to me. Anyway, U.S. Global Jets. All right, this is another ETF, so the price and the value will be the same. The relative value and relative safety will be the same as well. How about they are pulling back off of their RT being above the value of 1? Why? Because now it's not so good right now. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to right click. I want to take a look at the graph. So Jets was rocking. Look at that parabolic, keyword there. Look at that parabolic move on the stock. What goes up must come down, and boy, did it come down. And right now it's trading just below the 20-day exponential moving average, and this is the key thing right here. Remember I told you RT was rocking when it was rocking? Now that the stock's prices fell, RT is now below 1. That's a telling sign. Let me go back in time. Let me go back, way back. When RT went below the value of 1, what subsequently happened to the stock? This is the whole industry in one ticker symbol. Look at that. Whew. Look at what's going on right now. Be careful with those stocks. And I'm sure that many of you made some money in the airline stocks when they were rocking and rolling. Absolutely. I actually did it as a Trending Thursday story when it was rocking and rolling. And you know, one thing that still catches my attention when I look at airline stocks, and I do have them in a watch list. I got to watch this for that. I got to watch this for everything. I got to watch this for airline stocks. In here, I think of the major airlines in here, there's 8. You know what really still caught my attention? When they were rocking and rolling, all of their RVs were above 1. All of them. All right, if I go back in time, all of their RVs were above 1. What's going on right now? RVs are below 1. All of their RTs were above 1. What's going on now with them? RTs are below 1. So that's my take on it from a new perspective. Clayton, if someone is a brand new subscriber was looking at the news and they were talking about, airline stocks are rock and rolling, as a new subscriber, what should they do now? What do you think? What do you think they should do now?
We're talking about new subscribers, not just new investors, right?
I'm sorry, new investors. I got to use the right terminology. New investors.
Okay, because I was going to say new subscribers. I mean, obviously we can see here that, when we see percent prices dropping 15% almost across the board, a lot of new investors, they're going to see cheap opportunities. They're going to see opportunities for potential growth. I mean, we know that airplanes are going to stay around. But we don't, however, know how long it's going to take for each one of these companies to rebound, to get back to where they were. You know, I think I read an article a couple days ago about, I don't know if it was American Airlines or another airline company that was bringing back X amount of jets out of storage. The pandemic and the lockdown and that graph you were showing on jets not too long ago, Glenn, you could see that when the lockdowns started to become announced, the ETF just started to drop. It went from top left to bottom right, and then it found some support down there, it bounced off support again, and it started to go back up, and it was almost in line with, I don't know, the end of May, when the lockdown, when all the social distancing started to ease and quarantines across the country started to ease, and I know countries across the world began to open up their borders, and they began having that free travel, not free travel, but people were able to travel again country to country. Yeah, as we can see here, it did find support down here, bounces off support again, tested again, and then finally, I really think around here is when people started to get a little uneasy and just cabin fever, and everybody wanted to leave the house. And then once, and almost right in here, actually, probably when it crossed over what is this, a 20-day?
Yes.
Exponential moving average. Yeah, when the quarantine and the lockdown started to lift, boom, airlines shot up. And, but now, with the drop over the last few days, I'm not an airlines analyst or anything by that means, but like you said, it's demand that's going to drive the stock's price higher. And as we can see, more people maybe aren't willing to travel yet. They're not willing to get back on a plane. They're not willing to do that. So that's the major thing that we need to see happen. We need to see people comfortable with airlines. And without even having VectorVest, if you see stories like airlines just had the best week in history, why are you not investing in airlines? Well, when you see stuff like this, boom, okay, yeah, great. We need to get in. Fear of missing out starts to hit in. The new investor, he could get in right here without being able to check anything or without being able to analyze any of the stocks. And what happens the very next day? Boom, gap down, gap down, gap down. And now, do we test support here? Do we test support here? We really have to follow the story and not just follow what people are saying that airlines are having the best week ever. Jump on board.
All right. Do we have any questions, Joey?
Let's see.
Oh, put them up there. How important is it to set your graph range to match the range of how long you plan to hold the stock? For example, the price looks good for a month, but today it's super high. Hope that makes sense. So, yes, if I am, now, and that's a good question. Let's say I'm a swing trader. I like looking at a 3-month graph to a 1-month graph, okay? Because I'm a shorter term investor, all right? But if I am trying to hold a stock for my retirement, I'm going to put on a 1-year graph. Do you like that for a 1-year graph for a retirement stock? So says, I like that, says. I used to remember the song, say what you want. But that was a long time ago. All right, anyway, if I'm looking to be a longer term investor on this stock, this tells me no, I don't want to be a long-term investor on this stock. If I look at some of the airline stocks, let's go do that real quick. Airlines, let's go highlight them all because I think that makes sense. If I am a longer-term investor, then I need to be looking at a longer-term graph. All right, right-click, view the stock graph. We'll put all of these on a 1 year. Do you like that as a long-term stock? Now, I will add earnings onto a graph when I'm looking at long-term. I don't know if I like that long-term. No. Man, no. Look at these. Look at the volatilities in these. And a lot of this is coronavirus related. I totally understand that. So better yet, let's put on a 5-year graph. Man, that's Jets sitting sideways for a long time. Hey, there's American Airline. There's Delta. Delta's got more of a little bit of an up move to this stock, but man, if I'm going to look at any, in the earnings is a little bit more jagged. I got a little bit more jagosity. That's a Glenism. On earnings, let me make that so I can change this style, make it area. Delta's got more of a positive spin, if you want to look at it, on earnings per share. But the whole idea, folks, is I want to look at a smooth graph. This is a 5-year graph. I want to see a smooth graph moving from the bottom left to the top right. So I'm with you. Depending on how long you want to hold the stock, will allow me to put on the right look back period on my graph of this stock.
Yeah, Glenn, I completely agree with that. I'm gonna just jump in for 1 second here.
Sure.
I don't know who asked the question, but that's an excellent question because,
Wow.
a new investor might not think that, okay, here's what I'm going to think as a new investor. This stock's been going up, 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 up. Now it's, what, 1/4 of the price. I've got a deal. I can get this stock on the cheap. I can get this stock, and then, maybe next month it'll bounce right back up to where it was at $20, and I just made 3 times my money. So I'm not thinking about, the amount of time that I'm going to hold this stock, or if I'm a swing trader, I'm looking at a three-month graph to a 1-month graph. If I'm a day trader, maybe I'm looking at an intraday or a 1-week graph or something like that. No, I see this stock. I say, oh, wow, this stock does nothing but go up. Coronavirus hit. It's down right now. I'm going to make some quick money and just quadruple my money over the next couple months as the coronavirus relaxes and everything goes back to normal. So that's an excellent thing to point out, and it definitely makes sense to position the time frame on your graph as to what type of investor you are.
Big time. All right, so somebody else put a question. Can you give an example of setting a tight percentage stop for a swing trade? Sure. Let's say you're in a swing trade and your swing trade is a 30% gain, 10% loss. A good way to tighten it is, that's a 3-to-1 reward to risk, right? 10 to 10, 30 to 10. 3-to-1 reward to risk. Tighten it down to a 2-to-1. So instead of going 30-10, maybe you go 25. All right, 5-10, that's still 4-to-1. That becomes 4-to-1. Anyway, tighten your lower number, tighten your higher number. What you're doing is you're taking your profits a little quicker, and you're taking your losses off the table a little faster. Another way, how about a trailing 10% stop? Instead of going with a trailing 10, tighten it down to a trailing 7. Again, you take your winners a little quicker and you get out of your losers a little faster. So the tightening is all going to depend on you as an individual investor. It's going to totally depend on you, but those are some examples of how to tighten your stops, all right? Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Now, if you're new to the software or would like refresher information about the software, click on this Getting Started video right here. Thanks to all of your input, here's a YouTube video that we think would be perfect for you. Click right here. If nothing else, folks, just hit the subscribe button right here.